Hi everyone, thank you for joining me once again. Today we're going to talk about societies of women and what the writings are telling us about them. In the Zohar, the most famous Kabbalistic mystical book, we find a very weird sentence. It is said that children of Naamah, one of the mothers of demons, either created by meetings of her with human men or her daughters with human men, are sometimes being taken under the wing of the first woman. This first woman would be Lilith, the famous and very known Lilith. And those children that are a result of meeting either with humans or maybe supernatural men are part of this women's society that are raising the children together under the wings of the very first mother of demons, Lilith, and they actually raising them up the way they see fit. The fact that this thing is connected to the dark side of mysticism maybe teaches us about the way that society and men viewed societies that were ruled and enclosed within the women or the sisterhood of women. We know that in ancient legends, if they saw two women wandering in the field by themselves, maybe looking for herbs, for example, they immediately thought that they were witches dealing with some kind of witchy work or witchcraft. We learn about Hanina ben Dosa that met Agrat bat Machalat, a demoness, in the field at night, and she had an army all to herself, and he is going into battle with her, although she never meant to go into battle with him, and she's specifically telling him so. We know of Yanai, a man walking into this inn in ancient times, and the place is being run by a woman, and he confronts her for being a witch. There are stories about women living in caves, remote caves for some reason, and even though you had zero connection with them, you still need to go find them and fight with them. Even in the 19th century, Hannah Rachel Wehrmacher, a woman known to do miracles and heal people, the men within the community were very disturbed by this fact. They were trying to force her to marry, and at some point she migrates from those communities. So what do these things teach us? Perhaps the fact that those societies, those feminine women's societies, are described as connected to demonesses and witches and to the dark sides of mysticism is telling us something about how society views those groups of women, and the fact that there are societies of women that don't need to get under the wings of male supervision or guidance. Perhaps this is an echo of times where women were in temples as priestesses, worshipping their goddesses and actually connecting with them directly. Now, the ancient world wasn't feminist. It is something which is, it's not true to say that it is wrong. It was never feminist, but within the sacred worlds, within the cultural faith, within the temples, women did have their place, and their place between them and their goddesses from their feminine aspect and understanding of the divine feminine qualities. When this is being stripped away from them and being taken from them, then women are becoming very easy to demonic influences, and you need to have them under the guidance of men because obviously they just can't handle the world by themselves. And when you do have societies such as those forming anyway, it is a threat to what is now accepted within later on societies, that women are always being ruled by men. This is why for many years we have men leading religions but not women leading religions. The only two places that we do know that somehow were under the rule and understanding of women was giving birth, because those were places that men didn't feel like they belong and maybe it scared them, and they are in charge of the entire process, and also they have their own magical rituals and healings, and only in later periods this whole thing is transforming into the hands of men. Also, in making jewelry for brides, many of the times women used to sit together and make them either with fabrics or jewels, and it was a place for them to talk and to advise the future bride from their experience and their wisdom and everything they went through in their lives. But it was okay as long as at the end she went on to marry a man and things would keep on going the way they did before. But societies of women are a threat to things the way maybe men think they they should be for many generations. So this is a very interesting topic that we can learn and assume a lot about from these little glimpses that we can find within documentations or even mystical teachings. I would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe you know any other interesting societies worth talk about, maybe even the Amazons. So if do, please do tell us. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.